Hello, in this video I'll be showing you how to install Windows 98 2nd Edition on a Dell Inspiron 2650 laptop. I have some files loaded onto the hard drive ahead of time to help me out here, and a Windows 98 2nd Edition CD is already loaded into the tray. So let's get started by turning this thing on. Go ahead and move it closer here. So the CD should be booting up here. Okay, so typically if you're doing a Windows 98 install, you would just go to boot from CD-ROM, then select this first option here, start Windows 98 setup from CD-ROM. However, with this specific model of laptop, if you do that, you're going to end up with an unusable installation of Windows 98. So to get around that and actually have your Windows 98 install fully working, you're going to want to select the second option here, Start Computer with CD-ROM support. Go ahead and do that and give it a second here to get everything loaded. Okay. So then you'll have to go into your CD drive, the D drive in this case. So all you need to do, sorry, I'm just trying to get this to focus a little better here. Okay, all you need to do in order to have Windows 98 installed successfully on this laptop is use a switch on the setup. So you would just type in setup //p space I. So that's setup space /p space I. And if all you need to know is how to get the Windows 98 2nd Edition installation to proceed and install correctly, then this is really all you need to watch. You can go ahead and turn off the video and move along with your day. And I hope you have a good one. If you want to watch me go through the driver installation process on this, you can stay tuned and I'll go ahead and do that. So I actually have this the setup files preloaded onto the hard drive, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to that directory and start the setup from there using the setup space /p space I setup switch so we don't run into any problems. Since there is nothing really to report with the setup if you do the installation this way, I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video and I'll be back after we're booted into Windows 98 and go over some driver installations. Alright, we're booted in the Windows 98 2nd Edition here. Nothing really to report during the installation. Everything proceeded without an issue as expected. So I'm going to go ahead and install some drivers and a couple software items. Here's the order that I'm going to do it in. If you're following along, I would recommend you do it in this order to not run into any issues. So for the sake of convenience, the first thing I'm going to actually install is the USB drivers. So you can use a flash drive on this if you want to. So I'll go to my USB driver folder. All the drivers I already have saved onto the hard drive to make this a little easier. And I do have links to downloads for all these drivers on my blog post. So with the USB drivers, the instructions with those, if you read them, specifically say that before installing them or running the bat file in this case, you're going to want to remove everything from universal serial bus controllers here. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, should be good. Yep, we're good there. And then you're going to want to remove all these, anything listed under other devices here, anything with the question mark that needs drivers still. So I will go ahead and do that as well. No, not yet. Okay, now we should be good to install the USB drivers. So yep, just double click this start bat file if you're following along here. And then prompts us to restart. We can go ahead and do that now. Shouldn't take too long. This computer kind of rips on Windows 98. Definitely a bit overkill for Windows 98, but nothing wrong with that. Alright, let it finish installing it here. Yeah, we're gonna get back to this later. Just basically adding back all the question mark devices. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna take care of all that pretty soon. Okay. Then to finish this off, what you're gonna want to do is plug in a flash drive. That way it'll install the USB mass storage driver. So let me get a port back here. Plug it in. Yep, see, and as you can see, it's installing everything you need right there. Got the little eject icon down here too, so we should be good. And there it is. And yeah, we can see our files on the flash drive, so that's working. I'm going to go ahead and eject it and just verify the other USB ports working. Okay. So now I'm plugging it into the other port just to make sure everything's all hunky-dory. And yep, looks like we're good. Okay, so now you have USB support, which I figure if you're following along could definitely come in handy for you. Get that out of the way nice and early. Okay, continuing on. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the chipset package here, the updated Intel Mobile chipset drivers. So just run the setup package. Go ahead and just proceed through the installation, nothing crazy. It's going to ask you to reboot, and go ahead and just reboot. And then it's going to update several devices after rebooting, as you should see here in just a moment. It's going to run through all these and ask to reboot again here in a moment. Yep, go ahead and reboot again. Alright, and we are back. Nice and quick and spiffy. Okay, so now I'm going to install the rest of the drivers except for the graphics driver. That's going to come at the very end of what I'm doing. I'll explain that in a little bit more detail here soon. Okay, so I'm missing the Ethernet driver. Go ahead and grab that one. And as I've said before, where is it? Oh, yeah, I gotta specify it. I'm being dumb. As I said before, all these drivers are listed in my blog with download links. So LAN 3COM1 Windows driver. Go ahead and install it. It's going to request a reboot after it installs the Ethernet one. We're not going to reboot just yet. Okay. We are not restarting yet. Okay, the audio driver, go ahead and install this one. And I'm getting confused here. Okay. Have it on the hard drive right here. So, anyways, the so with the video, the graphics driver, you want to have DirectX installed before you install the graphics driver, because I believe you may be missing out on some functionality if you don't do it in that order. But if you install DirectX before you install the audio driver, you're going to run into some slight difficulties with getting your audio working. So that's why I'm doing it in this order, just to kind of explain myself a little bit. Let's just say this isn't the first time I've attempted to make this video. Put it that way. Okay, so now our audio driver is installed. We should have working audio right now, actually. Okay, so this PCI card here, the one remaining device, is actually the modem. If you are using the stock modem, it connects in D480. I looked all over the place. I could not find Windows 9X drivers for this modem. You can look if you want. I'm just going to warn you that I spent quite a bit of time looking. I found drivers that would install, and the modem would still not work. You might be wasting your time if you're looking for working Windows 9X drivers for the stock modem. So I just go ahead and disable it. Okay, and I believe the last thing before the graphics one is just the touchpad, which I just installed from the package. So yep, I did audio, did chipset, waiting on graphics, did LAN, did USB. Yep, so we got touchpad. Cool. So yep, just run the setup file for that. You could definitely argue that the touchpad drivers are optional, but I like to have them. I like the scrolling with the touchpad. I always enjoyed that functionality. I'll let it finish here, and we're going to go ahead and reboot now. Alright, so the only driver remaining is the graphics driver. Before we install that, I'm going to go ahead and install DirectX 9.0C from December of 2006, aka the last version of DirectX that supported Windows 98 2nd edition. And I already have that on the hard drive ready to go. I'll have a link to it in the blog post as well. And I'm also, while I'm at it, I'm going to install Internet Explorer 6.0 as well. So I'm not going to go through the installation process for those. Just take my word that I'm installing them, and I will be back after they're installed and I'm ready to install the graphics driver. Alright, and we're back. Got DirectX and Internet Explorer 6 with the service pack all fully installed. Nothing too crazy to report. It looks like my cat wants to make a quick appearance here. What's up, kitty? Kitty! And what's going on here? We got some... Oh, no, there it goes. I was just thinking I was probably going to have to reboot, but looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. Had I known it was going to take this long, I probably would have just waited for it to completely boot up before I turn the camera back on, but we're gonna roll with it because I don't feel like editing this video at all. Yeah, Kitty, that's not annoying at all. Yeah, just Kitty, come on, really? Move your tail. Ah, jeez. Freaking cats, man. Alright, so everything is installed right now except for the graphics. Best for last. And like I briefly mentioned earlier, we're doing that last because we wanted DirectX installed first. Because I believe you don't get the full functionality of the NVIDIA software if you install this without DirectX installed. Okay, anyhow, if you read my blog, you'll see that I put up 3 different drivers you can use. One of them is from Dell for a different model laptop that works with this model laptop as well, and Windows 98. The other 2 are hacked Forceware drivers. So my go-to's been Forceware version 71.84, or the version that the hacked INF file was originally meant for. Of course, I have more information about all that on the site, but this has been my go-to. I might run some benchmarks between the different drivers at some point, but I don't know. We'll see if I get around to that. I also recommend you install it through Device Manager if you're using one of the hacked ones at least. If you don't install one of the hacked ones through Device Manager, then it's not going to show up correctly in Device Manager. Probably because it's a hacked driver. The NVIDIA reference drivers never supported the GeForce 2 Go, so people had to come along and make them support them, if that makes sense. I believe the only place you're going to find an INF that works with this as well is on my website, so it's even more reason to go check it out. Or just use the Dell driver and, give me the finger. It's all fine, whatever you want to do. I don't mind. Okay, this should reboot and look much nicer. I believe the default resolution is 800 by 600. Man, yeah, my cat's just kneading over here. Looks like she's having a great time, right, Kitty? Kitty. Kitty. Yep. Some blooper reel footage for you. Okay, oops. And does its spiel about your monitor, whatever. Just use whatever you want. I don't care, Windows. There you go. Alright, yep, looks much nicer. And, being the responsible person I am, I always change it to 32-bit and max out the resolution. And, yeah, we're good. Oh. And then, you can obviously tinker with this however you want. But from my testing, it's more or less fully working. It kind of freaks out if you start messing around with these here. So I don't do that multi-display stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a fully functional Windows 98 2nd edition install on a Dell Inspiron 2650. Really, the only trick you have to worry about during the installation process is using that setup switch, the setup space /P space I, to start off the install. As long as you do that, you should be good to go. So yeah, I think I'll just end the video here. If you have any questions about the process or run into any other issues, maybe have a similar issue with a different laptop, just post a message in the comments and I'll see if I can help you out. Take it easy.